Today we're filming in the iconic Shard building in central London, and our topic is up to 70% of tech spend is wasted according to one estimate. Other surveys put it at nearer 30%, but it's still a lot. And the reason for that is many companies don't think through what they need, understand what their customers want, or test how it'll be used. And that's where a tech partner such as Appy Ventures comes in. With me now is Appy's CEO, Patrice Archer. Hello to you.
Hi, Sarah.
Basic question first, what do you do for your clients?
Good question. We work as tech partners for entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs, so companies, to build technology-led businesses.
Okay, so that means you build apps, you build websites, you take them through a whole journey, don't you? And actually one of the things you mainly do is you really get to know a company first before you start doing any actual tech building. Now, why?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people can build technology for you, but whether or not they build the right thing for you as a business or for your users is completely different. What we do practically is build apps, web apps, etc., all these different things. But first and foremost, we go through a process of understanding the business, the users, what their pain points are, create a prototype, and test it out in the market before we build the technology.
And how tempting is it for companies to want the latest thing, you know, the virtual reality, the augmented reality, just because it's exciting?
We hear that all the time. It's like buzzword bingo. So it's machine learning, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality. A lot of the time it's style over substance. It's dissociated from trying to solve a pain point, trying to solve a user need, and doing things for the sake of it, I would say.
And a lot of companies don't create a graphic design prototype, do they? Now, what are the dangers of not doing that stage?
I think the key danger is the translation of the vision to developing the right thing is quite different. And a lot of the time we see people who've got a clear vision of what it is in their heads, so the founders, the entrepreneurs, the companies, but they're not able to articulate that to the developers. So what happens? They don't get the right solution, it's full of bugs, or it just never finishes. And you see that a lot with bigger corporations. Having that stage of a graphic design prototype means you can test with users and also ensure you develop the right thing. And
how important is it for you to test out your assumptions? Because you assume, because you like something, that all your customers will like it.
To me, it's paramount. And we actually, as tech partners and advisors to our clients, really on the technology side, we almost refuse to move to development until we have tested the assumption with users. Just testing with 5 people, you get probably 80% the feedback you would have had from launching it to 100 people.
Well, we don't have to take your word for it. We're going to pause for a moment and we're going to hear from some of your clients.
VPAR is a utility app and social networking platform for golf. We already had a number of tech leads, but we needed more. And so we struggled actually in the UK marketplace to find the talent that we required. So I was introduced to Appy through a friend, and they very quickly could help me find the talent I needed, but in a cost-effective manner. They have all the capabilities of a full-scale agency without the significant costs. So everything from design to speccing, UX and then development, but you don't have to pay the agency fees. They also work with a huge number of businesses, so there's unrivaled experience there.
So Employeeball is the first app of its kind that is completely user-centric, that allows a user to identify, map and track their way into a new career. So right at the beginning, and any founder will tell you, is you have this great idea and that's about as far as it goes. So Appy was a really, really important tech partner for us because they clearly mapped out the journey for an entrepreneur through the app development lifecycle. It's not all about spending your money, it's all about how do we partner with this entrepreneur, with this company to help them realise success. And the way I feel working with Appy is that our success is their success as well, so which is really, really good.
We have an online marketplace for tutors, so where customers can find a specific tutor that they're after for a range of subjects and levels through a simple search on our website. Yeah, I mean, for Tutors, Appy helped us with a variety of things. They weren't like any other company we've used for development so far over the course of 6 years. They basically helped us with product management, with the design of the product, but also the development of the product as well. But the most important thing was the business side of it. They actually looked into our business, how we can improve our funnel metrics, improve our growth, and improve our usability for users, whether that's customers, students, tutors. So they helped us with all of that.
Some great testimonials there. And just a few more questions, if I may. There's often a gap, would you say, between companies knowing what they want and knowing what's possible. They maybe don't have the tech language. What would you say about that?
Yes, absolutely. And it's touching on a little bit from the previous brand around bridging from vision of the founder to something that developers will fully understand and make sense. A lot of the key issues come from not doing that translation piece, vision to development. What that really means in practice is having to invest in user experience, graphic design, prototyping, product management, which a lot of companies think is not necessary, but they only realize it's necessary once they've gone through the whole process and didn't get what they need.
And tech is moving so quickly now, isn't it? How do you keep up? Because sometimes by the time you've launched an app, it's almost out of date, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, there's two sides to that question. I mean, for me, firstly, it's my job full time to understand technology, and I struggle to keep up at time. So it's really a question of testing the latest app, technology, and getting in the know. The second facet is a lot of government entities and large corporates are really struggling in terms of not launching something within 1 or 2 years. It takes them so long that by the time it arrives, it's not relevant anymore. The world's moved on.
Thanks, Patrice. Well, let's give the last word to Appy Ventures chairman Peter Bryant, who I spoke to earlier. And I started by asking him why it's important that Appy positions itself as a tech partner rather than an agency.
I think with the very fast changing world of technology, it's important that the clients that we deal with have someone who can do the research, do the analysis, make sure that the platforms that we're providing for them to grow their businesses with are appropriate, adequate, and have longevity, because the last thing we want to do is be having to rework the technology platform to satisfy their needs going forwards. We like to think it's good value. We're probably not going to be the cheapest people in the marketplace, but we haven't got the overheads of large agencies, large businesses, so we can make sure that our pricing is appropriate and where necessary, aggressive. We're not afraid to challenge our clients' ideas. I think that's quite unusual for agencies who are very keen on just billing. We'll actually hold the mirror up to them and say, well, do you think this is appropriate? Or is there a way that we can morph this proposition to make it more commercially viable, so your project, your app is going to be a greater success? That, I think, is a bit of a different approach that we adopt.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Peter.
Thank you, my pleasure.